And take a look at this. Out here doing my morning chores of the garden and just normal stuff. I find that's when it's the most peaceful to be out in the garden. And I'm finding that it's best just to go grab the camera and follow along because all kinds of things come up as you're working in the garden. These are the full Jew jalapenos. No capsaicin in them. Not that it matters. They say birds don't have the receptors we do to interact with capsaicin for the heat or the pain feeling. But my chickens just don't like peppers. They leave them no matter what. I can cut this entire plant, throw it in the chicken coop, and I'll guarantee I can come back and not a pepper was touched. No peck marks, no anything. So that's actually one cool way to process a plant if you needed to do it that way too. These things just got giant. And a lot of years my jalapeno plants have gotten overly large like that. This one, I've actually got to take some of the peppers off because it's weighing it down, pushing it over to the side, and it's making it too darn heavy. But the size of these things, nice and fat, I'm gonna make a whole bunch more jalapeno poppers. Okay, absolute squirrel moment, side note, but doing this video, take a look at what I just found. See if I can get you down to it. There's a big old hidden zucchini under there. Chickens are gonna love that one. Actually, that was one of those moments where as I said it, I changed my mind. That's gonna make some great zucchini bread. This bed I was letting go for seed. So all week long, or actually this will be the 4th day on this bed, I've just flipped them upside down, cut them all off and let them lay here, and then I'm gonna take them in and de-seed them. The best thing to do, and I know it stinks this time of year, I hate doing it too, but try to cut the base of these things. All right. And then just flip the whole thing over. And you can just go around and start clipping all the jalapenos and just let them fall right into the bed. Then you scoop them up, put them in a box, and it's just a whole lot easier to process that way. Just seems to work for me. I'm going to hold my mic up and hopefully you can hear this. That. So the chicken coop is just across from where I'm at, and the whole time they watch me do this, that's the noises they make waiting for me to bring them the entire plant. I'm going to try to bring you along. I'm not so great handheld, but I'm going to try to bring you along here so you can see what I see. There you go. Are you going to wait because I'm watching you? Well, go ahead and get it. Okay, go out of the coop. They're touchy birds. Hopefully the hardware cloth doesn't get in the way and you can see them. I'll try to zoom down and see what it'll let me do. And if you haven't heard before, that's the sound they make when they're laying the eggs. I've heard some call it the egg song. And if you look down the side here, I bought that thick polymer plastic, I don't know, vinyl, but the same stuff that they put on the big party tents when it gets cold in the wind outside, so it's really, really thick. And I ordered on Temu the big panels for each side and a skirt where it can go around under the chicken coop. And I kept the camo net on here. I kept it on the outside so I can roll it up and down because the sun is coming from that direction and just beating right on it. So I can control how hot it gets in there during the day too. But so far I've left this 8-foot by 8-foot area that I walk in and out of uncovered, and that's not covering the roof either of the run. The regular chicken coop has the polymer panels, whatever they are, the corrugated plastic roofing over top of them. But in here, I just leave it as the camo net. The porch is covered so they can go up on the porch if it starts to rain. But unfortunately, been dealing with the mud out here, so I'm working on that problem as we speak. They're still tearing apart that pepper plant, so we'll be back in a minute to show you what I mean when I said they'll strip it, but they won't touch a pepper. Okay, so why am I showing you all this? One, it's just absolutely amazing to me. One of the things that, of course, I knew about, but I guess didn't put a lot of thought into when I decided to get chickens, was being able to take all the garden waste and put it in the chicken coop, and they compost it, turns into manure, ends up back in the garden. It is such a cool cycle, and it's one that I really didn't see coming as my favorite thing about having chickens. And there's been many other things about having chickens that I did not anticipate. Of course, I got into it because of the eggs. Wasn't sure if I wanted to take on all the extra duties, but they're honestly a pleasure to have. They're really easy to take care of. It's just something, of course, that you got to keep in the front of your mind, because if you've got a regular work schedule, then you're getting up earlier, coming out here to feed the chickens, make sure they're set. You got to get them fresh water. You got to just make sure the coop's tidy, that kind of thing. And then you can go until you come home, but you got to get out there right away and feed them some more and do the same thing all over again. But even with all that extra work, it's definitely worth it. So if you're on the fence thinking about getting chickens, I definitely recommend it, especially if you have a pretty large garden. If you have a pretty large garden, it's going to change your life. You're going to start thinking about growing different things at different times of the year to be able to keep those things fed. Not only to keep your food bill down, but to make the food you're eating more nutritious and healthy for you and taste a whole lot better. Now, take it for what it's worth. It's just my 2 cents. This is only my first year having chickens. And I hatched them in, or I guess I started incubating them in January. So they're not very old. I've only made it through 1 season. I'm not some expert in it. I'm just sharing my thoughts at this stage to kind of give you that boost of confidence if you're thinking about getting chickens. I really think you'll enjoy having them. They're actually a lot of fun to be around. I have no idea why, because they really don't do much, but they are a joy to have around the garden. They're still going at it, but let's check and see how the pepper plant looks. Let me take a look. Let me show everybody what you've done. In just that little while. Look at all the leaves that are gone. But if you look underneath, the jalapenos that I left, they're still there. I'm sorry, you can have it back. And always remember, you don't have to be a prepper to be prepared, and I will see you on the next one.